Once upon a time, in a big city, lived a little boy named Finn. He was an ordinary boy who had an extraordinary imagination. Every night before bed, he would dream of going on amazing adventures, exploring faraway lands, and doing incredible things. But one night his dreams came true in the most unexpected way. It was just an ordinary day for Finn. He played with his dog, Sparky, and went to school, where he learned about different countries and their capitals. When he came home, he helped his mom cook dinner, and then it was time for bed. He put on his favorite pajamas, brushed his teeth, and got into bed. As his eyelids grew heavy, he thought about the places he loved to visit. Suddenly, his room began to shake. At first, he thought it was just an earthquake. Then he realized that his bed was floating in the air. The bed flew up through the window, carrying Finn and Sparky with it. They soared above the city, marveling at the sight. The buildings looked like tiny Legos, and the cars were little moving dots. They flew past parks, shops, and even the river. It seemed like they were going higher and higher. Soon, the whole city was just a small part of what lay beneath them. They flew over vast stretches of land, mountains, rivers, and forests. They saw deer jumping over fences, foxes hunting rabbits, and eagles soaring through the clouds. They also saw some truly amazing places. There were fields of flowers that looked like colorful carpets, caves that sparkled like jewels, and waterfalls that crashed down like silver ribbons. Finn felt like he was living in one of his own adventures. And then, suddenly, they were above a giant rainbow that arched across the sky. The colors were so bright and vibrant that Finn couldn't take his eyes off of it. And right at the end of the rainbow, they saw a magnificent castle made of pure gold. It had tall towers that touched the clouds, a wide moat filled with sparkling water, and beautiful gardens full of all kinds of flowers. They landed softly on a hill in front of the castle. As the door opened, a beautiful woman appeared. She had long flowing hair, a kind smile, and eyes that twinkled like stars. "Welcome to Rainbow Land," she said. "I am the Rainbow Fairy. I've been expecting you." "Expecting me?" asked Finn. "Why?" "Because you have a kind heart and a curious mind," replied the fairy. "You are the only person who can help us." It turned out that the fairy and her friends were having a big problem. The magic that kept the rainbow bright and beautiful was fading away. Without magic, the rainbow would disappear, and all the wonderful creatures of Rainbow Land would be in danger. "We need someone brave and clever to find the lost magic," said the fairy. "And we believe you are the one who can do it." Of course, Finn was scared, but he didn't want to let the fairy and her friends down. So he accepted the quest. The fairy gave him a magic map that led to the lost magic. Then she led him to a talking tree that served as a portal to other lands. "This will take you to your first stop," she said. "Be careful. The path ahead will be full of challenges." As Finn stepped into the portal, he found himself in a dark and scary forest. The trees were twisted and gnarled, and the bushes seemed to be hiding something. But he knew that if he wanted to save the rainbow and its creatures, he had to be brave. He took a deep breath, adjusted his backpack, and started walking. Suddenly, a gruff voice boomed, "Who dares enter the Whispering Woods?" Startled, Finn turned around and saw a big, bad wolf standing in front of him. "I'm Finn," he said nervously. "I'm looking for the lost magic of the rainbow." The wolf snarled. "The magic is protected by many dangers. If you want to find it, you must prove that you are worthy." Then he challenged Finn to a game. "If you win, you may pass. But if you lose, I will eat you up." The game was to walk across a log that moved up and down over a deep, dark pit. It seemed impossible to Finn, but he had to try. He stepped onto the log and it started to move. Up and down, side to side, back and forth. Finn stumbled and almost fell, but he kept his balance and slowly made his way across. Finally, he reached the other side and the wolf let him pass. He continued his journey until he came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood a tiny house made of pebbles and twigs. Suddenly, a little girl appeared in front of him. "Hello," she said. "My name is Willow. Who are you, and what brings you here?" "I'm Finn," he replied. "And I'm looking for the lost magic of the rainbow. The wolf told me you might be able to help me." "I know where the lost magic is hidden," said Willow. "But it's also guarded by many dangers. Are you sure you're brave enough to face them all?" She took him to a nearby stream and asked him to drink from it. "This is the water of truth," she said. "It will show you what lies ahead." As Finn drank from the stream, he saw a vision of what was left of his journey. He saw a dark cave guarded by a fearsome dragon, a treacherous mountain path, and a deep lake filled with sharp rocks. But he also saw the lost magic shining brightly at the end of the path. Taking a deep breath, Finn thanked Willow and started on his way. His journey took him through dark and scary places, but also through beautiful and magical ones. He met all kinds of interesting creatures, some friendly and some not so friendly. He used his wit and bravery to overcome each challenge, knowing that he was getting closer to his goal. Finally, he reached the last part of the journey. He had to cross a deep lake filled with sharp rocks. But luckily, he met a wise old turtle who helped him. The turtle took Finn on her back and carried him across the lake. When they reached the other side, Finn thanked the turtle and continued on his way. He entered a dark cave and saw the lost magic in the distance. But guarding it was a fearsome dragon. The dragon roared and breathed fire, but Finn was prepared. He used his wits and bravery to distract the dragon and retrieve the lost magic. When he returned to Rainbow Land, the fairy and her friends were overjoyed. With the magic restored, the rainbow shone brighter than ever. All the creatures of Rainbow Land celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness. They had a big feast, and Finn was made an honorary citizen of Rainbow Land. After spending some time in Rainbow Land, it was time for Finn to go home. The fairy and her friends gave him a magical seashell that would allow him to return whenever he wanted. As Finn stepped back into his bed, he knew that his life would never be the same. He had seen the wonders of Rainbow Land and the importance of helping others. From that day on, Finn looked at the world in a different way. He was no longer just an ordinary boy. He was Finn, the hero of Rainbow Land, and whenever he heard children laughing and playing, he remembered the joy and wonder of his amazing adventure.